All right, so let's look at lesson 110. So here are the ones that you were struggling with. The brigantine was sailing at full speed and was 30 miles at sea when Lord Nelson began to give chase at twice the speed of the brigantine. If Nelson caught up in 6 hours, how fast was the brigantine traveling? So we know the time already without doing any math. It says that he began to give chase. The brigantine was 30 miles ahead, but when he began to give chase and when he caught up, that time was 6 hours. So it's 6 hours for both of them. Okay? Now we just have to figure out the rest of it. So I begin by drawing a little picture. So we've got the brigantine, okay? And then we got Lord Nelson. And the brigantine is 30 miles ahead of Lord Nelson. Lord Nelson's back here, and the brigantine is 30 miles ahead. All right, the point at which Lord Nelson catches up with him is 6 hours later. Okay, so we have this time period is 6 hours. And it also tells us we have our rate, our time, we have our brigantine, we have our Lord Nelson. The time is 6. It also tells us that we don't know the speed of the brigantine, so the rate of the brigantine is whatever it is. But we know that he is going at twice the speed of the brigantine. So 2 times the rate of the brigantine is Lord Nelson's speed. So from this picture, I can say that the distance of Lord Nelson is equal to the distance of the brigantine plus 30, right? We can see that. This is the brigantine's distance, and this is the distance of Lord Nelson. So the distance of the brigantine is the same as, or the distance of Lord Nelson is the same as the brigantine plus 30 miles. Okay, so that's how we write that. So now we can break this down into the rate of Lord Nelson times the time of Lord Nelson. That's equal to the rate of the brigantine times the time of the brigantine plus 30. So now I'm going to drop in what we know for rate. So rate of Lord Nelson is going to be 2 times the rate of the brigantine, and the time of Lord Nelson is 6. And that's equal to the rate of the brigantine, which we don't know, times the time, which is 6 plus 30. 2 times 6, that's 12 times the rate of the brigantine. 6 times the rate of the brigantine plus 30. Subtracting 6 RBs from both sides, I get 6 RB is equal to 30. When I divide both sides by 6, I find that RB, the rate of the brigantine, is 5. Okay, so if the rate of the brigantine is 5 and Lord Nelson is 2 times the rate of the brigantine, so 2 times 5 is equal to 10. So that's his speed. So the distance that the brigantine went, that's 5 times 6, that's going to be 30. And 10 times 6 is going to be 60. And that would be how we would finish that. And that's correct. All right, and then the next one you had trouble with was the sable. The sable was marked down 23% for this sail. So what you can do is you can say, here is the sable percent. All right, and we know that the original cost is going to be 100%. We know that. And we know that the markdown, or minus percent, the negative percent down, was 23. So that's minus 23. Okay, so 100 minus 23, that's going to be 77. That's the amount that we actually paid. Okay, so in dollars, the price that we paid, that's the sale price, is $15,400. What we want to know is the original price, right? The original price. So we don't really need this information anymore in here because we're looking for this. So we can set up our proportion. 100 over 77 is equal to P over 15,400. So when I multiply 100 times this, I get 15400 and 2 more zeros. So 1,540,000 is equal to 77 times P. So if I divide both sides by 77, we put this in here, 1540000 divided by 77, then $20,000 is the original price. Okay, just to check it, we're going to type that in, $20,000. And that's correct. All right, so now let's go to the last two that you needed help with. So we're going to find the surface area of the sphere whose radius is 6 inches. So surface area is going to be 4 times pi times radius squared. Okay, so 4 times pi times 6 inches times 6 inches. That's going to be 36. Well, I'll just do it on the calculator. That'll be easier. 4 times 6 times 6. Just doing the whole numbers. So 144, don't forget pi, inches squared. So 144 pi space I n period exponent of 2. And that's correct. Now we're going to find the surface area of a right circular cone. So something that looks like this. So in order to do this, we have to find the radius and the height. Sorry, let me undo that. The radius and the slant height. Sorry, not the height, but the slant height of the cone. So it has a radius of 7, a slant height of 19. So we need to find the area of the base, so the circle on the bottom, plus the lateral surface area. And that's the area around here, around the sides of the cone. So area of the circle of the base, area of the base is a circle. So that's going to be pi r squared. And the lateral surface area is going to be 4 times pi times, is that right? No, it's not. I messed up, sorry. I'm thinking about a sphere still in my head. So that is going to be pi r l. That's what that's going to be. So I was thinking, still had my head wrapped around a cone, or around a sphere instead of a cone. So we're just going to drop our values in. So pi, and then the radius is 7 foot by 7 foot. So there's the area of the base. 7 times 7 is 49 times pi feet squared, plus pi times a radius of 7 foot times a slant height of 19 feet. So that's going to be 7 times 19. 7 times 19 is 133 pi feet squared. When we add those two together, I get 182 times pi feet squared. So 182 pi space ft with an exponent of 2. And that's correct. All right, and that's all the ones that you were struggling with that were giving you a little problem. If you need more help, keep asking. You're doing great. I appreciate you asking for help because that shows me where I can give Miss Anna more direction for you in class. And I hope you stay safe with this bad weather. We may not have school tomorrow, so wait for that announcement. It just depends on the weather. So be watching Facebook and be watching the app for any announcements.